Why do I think that I make the best Australian steak meat pie? This, I promise you, is not another pie recipe. Let's start.
Easy, delicious cooking for my family, for my friends. Always happy, always laughter. Let's get together for a meal tonight.
We're going to start off with 700 grams of chuck steak, which is a tough cut of meat. Cook it for a long time, which will mean that it will tenderize it. There's a lot of fat here. Now, I'm going to include some of it, obviously, because that's where all the flavour is. But me personally, I love flavour, but I'm a little bit, well, I don't like a lot of fat in my food. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's a lot of marbling there. That's all flavour. That's gonna turn into a lot of flavour. And just for you to look at, this is about the size that I'm cutting them in. Don't want to make them too big, but then again, I don't want to make them small either. And there's the beef. That will be browned off now, the next step. You can see the sauce is bubbling. I'll drop the temperature now. I want to simmer it, so I'll drop it a fair bit because I'm going to return the meat back into the mixture with all those wonderful juices. Mix that all in. let that simmer now over low heat for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Filling's been cooked 1 3/4 hours, and then I took the lid off and for another half hour. I've put it in here now to cool down. So can you see how rich that is? That is absolutely delicious. So that'll go into the pastry in about 4 or 5 hours, whatever, once it's cooled right down. I've got some shortcrust pastry here. I've got a cutting tool, so I'm going to cut the base. If you don't have one of these, you can use a plate and cut around the plate. So there's one sheet. There's my pie tin. So this will go in the pie tin now. Push it in. The oven has been switched on. So there's the pie base. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dry bake it. So what I use is chickpeas, dry chickpeas. So I'll fill them up like that. And that will go in the oven. And here's my 3 pies. The oven has been preheated to 180 degrees centigrade. Okay, let's put them in the oven now, and we'll go from there. What I'll do while I'm waiting for them to cook, I'll crack the egg and beat it. And of course that will become an egg wash for the top of the pie, and also will be used to seal the lid to the base. Here's one of the pies. So what I'm going to do now, it's actually quite hot. I'm going to take it and empty the chickpeas out. I hope you can appreciate the Australian obsession with the meat pie. It is unconditionally loved by most Aussies. In fact, one of the small pleasures in my life is to sit around on a Saturday afternoon with a cold beer and a pie watching the footy. Anyway, I do honestly hope you make these yourself. They're delicious. And until the next time, thank you for watching. So goodbye for now, Alex. Why do I think that I make the best ever Australian meat pie? I'm going, and I'll do it again. Okay, action. Why do I think that I make the best Australian steak meat pie? This is not another. Okay. Why do I think that I make the best Australian steak meat pie? Yeah. Start again. Why do I think? Okay. Why do I think that I make the best Australian steak meat pie? This is not another pie recipe. I promise you that. Let's start. Cut.
Easy, delicious cooking for my family, for my friends. Always happy, always laughter. Let's get together for a meal tonight.